What is up, Wichita? We are back with another episode of Coffee Break the Podcast. I am your host, Officer Chad Ditch, but I'm here with my co-host,
Officer Trevor Macy.
What is up, bro?
How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm too blessed to be stressed and too anointed to be disappointed.
I found myself thinking that in my head this weekend. Yeah.
That you were too blessed to be stressed?
Just that whole
saying?
Too anointed to be disappointed. Yeah. I think I heard that from you, and every once in a while it just pops into my head randomly.
You know?
So thank you for that little
You're welcome, bro.
life nugget.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You have a good weekend?
I did. Fairly low key. I went to a little Christmas party Friday night.
Okay.
And then
bro, it wasn't low key. I mean, if you want to talk about it, you can talk about it, but I thought it was kind of cool what y'all did.
Well, yeah.
You know,
it was a Las Vegas themed murder mystery party,
right?
And I was an Elvis impersonator,
bro.
So
hence the shaving.
Yeah,
of
the no mustache is gone. Elvis famously did not have a mustache, so that
would have been awkward.
I had to go. Yeah, Elvis with the mustache would have been kind of weird. I guess I could have kept it and just made something up, but
that's how dedicated you were.
I commit to my roles. So
let's just say there's 10 people at this murder mystery.
Mm-hmm.
How many of the 10 were completely committed to their roles?
There were quite a few people committed.
That's good.
You know, we had a whole slew of different characters that were all Vegas themed. So there were gamblers and casino managers, and there was a casino security guard in like a suit with like an earpiece, just like walking around the party the whole time watching people.
Yeah,
so, that was cool.
That is pretty dope. Because when you first told me about it, I started imagining like trying to get some people to get into the Sergeant Justice costume. You know, they're like, nah, man, no. But
this luckily you don't have any ridiculous. I think I had the most ridiculous costume, being an Elvis. Like it was in a jumpsuit and everything, but everybody else was just wearing like suits and
you rocked it, bro.
Vegas
you rocked
stuff,
it. You had the hamburger meat hanging out and everything. Like you did good.
You had a good weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, man. I celebrated my wife's 40th birthday, so we went to Stroud's. So delicious.
I love Stroud's.
So, shout out to Kiki, who was our waitress. She was just on point. There was like 20 of us and stuff, so on point every time. And bro, have you ever had a Stroud's cinnamon roll?
Yes.
Life changing.
Yeah, dude.
Life changing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, anytime my family goes to Stroud's, we load up on the cinnamon rolls. I always got to take some home.
Right? Yeah, I told her, I was like, Miss Kiki, how do we treat this like a Olive Garden breadsticks where you just give me some fresh ones to go home? And she hooked us up. She took care of us.
That's awesome.
It was dope, man. Had the party bus. So I've told you this, but you know, there's a company. I think they're called like Sound something, but they make custom songs, and I see it on TikTok. That's where I got it from. So I had a custom song made for my wife and her 40th birthday and stuff. So captured the whole essence of like us being married 17 years. Yeah, bro.
What kind of song was it? Like,
so you
what genre?
You could pick an artist. So hers was kind of like a country pop type thing.
Okay.
Beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Lady singing and stuff. So, but you could choose different genres. You can actually
hear
artists.
But they just make you a custom song.
Yeah, but you'll tell them. There's like 5 different things that you pick from, right?
Yeah.
What verse and stuff, and you have like 750 words that you got to utilize to talk about this.
Wow.
So yeah, bro, I just basically ended up being probably a page and a half worth of our 17 years together, and she put this in a 3-minute song, and it was
interesting.
Dope. Bro, it was so cool. On Sunday, my wife was walking around singing the song. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah, bro. So
that's awesome.
It was pretty cool. All the fellas that were with me that night were like, "Hey, bro, thanks for setting the standard so high."
Yeah.
Like, it's the 40th, man. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So
that's a big deal.
It was pretty good, man.
It was fun.
It was, man. And then Sunday woke up and went to the Amazon / Via Boxing / Patrol ECP Christmas thing.
Right. How'd that go?
Bro, so cool.
There was some photos.
Yeah. There was dozens of people that were able to, families that were able to bless, and they were getting some pretty good gifts, man. So these families were chosen by Via Boxing, knew some families that were in need, and then what Amazon wants to do is they want to do a couple events a year, and then they want to target different neighborhoods. So then you'll go to these elementary schools or middle schools in the neighborhood and say, okay, what families do you guys know of that need some assistance?
Right.
And then Amazon, you know, with those packages that either are returned or something like, or you know, they're something goes on. There's not broken items by any means. Instead of just destroying those, Amazon's like, why don't we give them out?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then David Krys used to be on this department. He's now an employee of Amazon.
Right.
He set this up, man, and talked to the people up there, and then so it was cool. It was pretty dope, man.
That's awesome. Look forward to more of that, hopefully.
Yeah, man. It was really cool. So Chief was out there and he had got to sit there and talk to people and take some photos, and then he went out to Sergeant Kimball's event too. So
nice,
very
cool.
busy man this week. So
yeah,
he was
obviously
so.
yeah. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah, man.
It's good to see everybody out and all this stuff. We got a lot of stuff happening this month,
bro, and
so
it's the holiday season.
Yeah,
man. And that's
nonstop.
Yeah. Speaking of the holiday season, I told you community Patrol East community words difficult. It's Monday.
That's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Patrol East CP.
Yeah,
their boss. He's here today.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. So we've had McElwain on the show. We've had Larison on the show.
And Stewie.
And I think that's it from Patrol ECP. But now we got their boss.
We got their boss.
We've had West CP on here, and we got their boss. So there's
a
trend.
I like it.
Y'all better watch out. But anyway, let's get the man. We got Lieutenant Krys Henderson in the building, and we'll take a break and get him in here. We'll be right back.
Let's get him on.
All right, we are back with Lieutenant Krys Henderson. LT, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I wish it'd be a little bit warmer, man.
Man, you don't never lie. It's disrespectfully cold outside.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So we appreciate you being on, man. We know you're a super busy guy.
Yeah.
But appreciate you taking the time to come in. Yeah. So
I appreciate you having me, man. So
yeah,
you had to pry me from my bench.
Yeah, right. yeah.
To get me here. So.
Right. Well, we ask the same question to every member of the podcast that comes in and stuff, and don't feel we won't be offended. I did that last week. Yeah. But have you seen the podcast?
I've seen 2 of them.
Okay.
2 of them. So I watched the one with Officer Blake McElwain. You had him on the show. So I watched the one with the chief too as well.
Okay.
So
there
those
you
are
go.
the only ones that I've watched.
Hey.
So.
Totally get it.
Episodes.
Yeah, really good episodes.
Episodes.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, so we started this, man, because we wanted we wanted the community to be able to know who the people are, right? Not just the person wearing the uniform, but the person behind the uniform. So, tell us, man. Tell us who's Krys Henderson.
Yeah, man. So I'm originally from Colorado Springs, so I'm a big Bronco fan. So no jokes, man. Not today.
Man.
Not today.
Man.
So you're a Broncos, he's Raider, and I'm a Chiefs.
I know.
Yesterday, I don't know when it's happened last, but yesterday every team in the AFC West won the game.
Yeah.
So
thankfully we finally won one. But expectations are not as high as they wish they would have been. But from Colorado Springs, I actually migrated here from there back in 97, 99, something like that.
Okay.
Played for a local college here for basketball.
Okay.
And then from there, I wanted to be a cardiologist, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And so, God had different plans for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if that's the avenue that I want to go. And I chose policing, and so I've been here since 2001. So worked in the prison for a couple of years prior to getting here.
Okay.
Back in 2004. Ended up joining the military, so I'm exceptionally proud about doing that. We can speak on that later. But that's how I pretty much got here. Me in a nutshell. Love to hike, man. So I go back to Colorado every year.
Yeah.
If not twice, to hike and stuff like that. So to get used to everything. But other than that, man, I'm pretty low key. I don't do much else, man. So.
I got you. Where have you been through in the department?
Kind of a mixed bag, man. I kind of been everywhere. So I spent like 15 years in patrol, like kind of a long time. From there, got promoted to detective. Worked in DV sex crimes. That's how I learned how to become a detective. Was cutting my teeth in that particular section, just because you learn so much.
So busy,
caseload, and then you just learn so much about how to be a detective in terms of that. And then spent some about 2.5 years in special investigations.
Okay.
Got promoted to sergeant, and then I went to served in our community response team, where you and I worked together for about 2 years, I think, in that, and then I've been in community policing for almost the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So. I think February hit my 2-year mark. So it's kind of a mixed bag, man. So I spent some time as a training academy officer for a little bit, as you well know.
Yeah.
I was your FTO, man.
Yeah.
So honor guard. I was a negotiator for about 4.5 years.
Yeah.
So just a lot of opportunities and diversity I think I've spent, on the department. So.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite spot that you've been?
Yeah, probably 2. Special investigations was really good. Just knowledgeable stuff. And then, working with community policing, man, I'm telling you, man, it has just been a blessing.
Right.
The guys and gals who I work for, work with, have just made my job easier. And it's just a collective group that they do, and just the amount of experience they bring. Yeah. Everybody's got a role. Everybody's got a certain, skill set that they bring. It just really paints diversity, and that's what we look for. Yeah. For community based is how that looks and how that works. But those are probably 2 of the best.
And I'm glad you said it because it's kind of, we talked about it on the podcast before too. It's like, some people might have the idea that a police officer is traffic, guns, drugs, and that's all they like, right?
Yeah.
But I like how you said like everybody has their own niche, right? So that's the cool thing that I love about this department is there's so many different things you could do. Like you said, you were a negotiator, you were in special investigations. I mean, there's a plethora of stuff that you could do here and stuff like that.
There is. If you're looking for that, I mean, there's a spot for you, right? It depends if you want to get into that and find your niche with that. So
yeah,
a lot of good stuff to be had.
So LT's been following me my whole career.
Yeah, what's up with that?
He's been following me. You've been following me, man.
Right?
Can't get away from each other.
You spoke on the military, and I think me being a military guy myself, that's what helped me in the academy was knowing that my FTOU
For sure.
were in the military. So the structure that you had was very. I knew a lot about it. It wasn't foreign to me at all. So I think that helped out a lot. I'm
glad. I mean, I think. When you join, on a national service or you're in the military, it points out a different side of you. I know it did for me growing up. And so and when we talk about transparency and being honest, I'm telling you, I never wanted to be in the military.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a police officer.
Right.
And then ended up being those two things.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a testament of those things. I think God said, hey, if we don't make him these two things, man, I don't know what else he's got in store for him. He might be a bum on the street or something. But I don't know. I mean, the military, and I know I talk a lot about it because it's really a part of who I am, and it's without the discipline, the regimen that comes with that, I doubt I would be anybody who I am today.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So I just some of the benchmarks and some of the things that they ingrain you with in terms of leadership, in terms of discipline, I think is key for me, you know. May not work for everybody, but for me it does.
See, and it's helped me out. It's also hurt me, right? Yeah. Because I'll have arguments with my wife or a family member, and I'm like, why don't y'all do it like this?
Yeah.
It's so much easier if you do A, B, C.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but I want to do A, Z, L, and Q.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the structure, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, the discipline and stuff like that. If we just do it like this, so much easier, y'all.
Yeah.
But
very regimented in terms of that. And so you know from the experiences at the academy. So I took a militaristic approach to it, I just thought it was what worked, stuff like that. So it may not have worked for everybody, but man, I'm telling you, it was just, it was good. It was a good opportunity.
Yeah.
So you say you never want to be a police officer or be in the military.
No.
And I'm curious now, because I was kind of that way too. I never wanted to be a cop, and then I found myself in this career. So how has your kind of perception of the job of policing changed from before, when you're like, I'm never going to do that, to now having done it for as long as you have?
Yeah. So great question. So I think a lot of it was when I wanted a career, and that's why I wanted to be in the medical field, because cardiology was like, hey, you're saving lives, you're doing medical procedures. And so when I realized that probably wasn't my avenue of approach, I was like, hey, what other job can I do that is what I believe to be adrenaline rush?
Yes.
Could provide excitement and energy in my life. And I said, you know what? Police officer, that's where it's at. Yeah, so as you migrate a little bit, you realize it's 10% of that, 90% paperwork.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you just realize that your thought and your overview looks differently, in policing, and it looks differently as you get to a supervisory role too. So, but I think that's how it ended up being migrated from that. And so, looking for that adrenaline rush, high pace, high anxiety sort of feel that I needed.
It's that problem solving.
Yeah, that young part of my career, my life. Now I'm the opposite, and I'm just trying to mellow out and some things of that. But I think those are the things that transitioned for that. And so in the military, it was just I got tired of coming home. To be perfectly honest, coming home and having nothing else to do.
Right.
So I needed something that I felt like that was get me motivated, something that was bigger than myself. I said, hey, why not do this? So, but also coming from a kind of a small lineage of military people in my family too. So kind of helped transcend to that, I think.
There you go.
Interesting.
So the military, being a lieutenant, and then with negotiating, all that to me speaks on how well that you have to communicate with people, not just your people that work for you, but the community and stuff. So can you touch on like how your communication skills have changed from the beginning, from when you were that 18-year-old kid to now when you're 21? But
yeah. You realize that the communication piece, it grows and it matures. I would say from a crisis management standpoint, your communication styles is different than would be just if the three of us here talking on this panel. But I think communication-wise, you just have to have a reflective voice of everybody. And maybe I'm coming from a community policing aspect of it, but you really have to speak in, kind of overarching principle, and not just for yourself maybe, but maybe for the entirety of, a group of people. Maybe it's for a team, maybe it's for a unit. But I think where my perspective has really grown was into speaking on behalf of the community and how that looks like and how that represents and stuff like that, especially being a minority on the department.
Right.
You can't lose that part of it too, being able to speak on that and to touch certain people in terms of that perspective. So I think communication is big, always has been, probably will always be big. I think that's the way of solving problems and getting things done.
Most definitely.
For sure.
So I've been doing this barbershop talk with the police, and I also part of other town halls and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things I always hear from different minority communities is we want officers on the street that look like us.
Yes.
Right, which is 100% understandable. What do you say to that 18-year-old, that 20-year-old that's out there that's thinking about it, who happens to be a black African American male or female? What do you say to them to get them here or what they wouldn't want to do or even that recruit, right? That's going to make it 20 plus years. What advice you got for them?
Well, in being honest and being in twofold, I would say, first and foremost, this job isn't for everybody, right?
Right. Yeah.
Understand what you're getting into, understand the calls and, the nature of this job. For two, I think the second thing I would say is like, hey, despite your race, your color, do the job because you want to help people. Do the job because you want to, put bad guys, jail. Do the job because, hey, you want to be a great detective or supervisor. Do it for those reasons. So to the 18-year-old kid, if I were to rewind myself and put myself in that position too, what would I want a police officer to say to me?
Yeah.
And I think in those cases, like, hey, just be honest. Tell me what I'm signing up for, and tell me what I need to do. What are the incentives, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about incentives. Talk about pay. Talk about how it reflects. But what's really, really key, and I've always bought into this, and it's not just lip service, is you have to have a department. You have to have a department that is reflective of your community.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
How do you create buy-in? How you create that is having people in the department that can see the other side of things where a lot of people can't go.
Yeah.
And I think that's key. And so that is one of the benefits that I think that I've had in community policing, being able to reach out and being on certain panels and talking with people and just being engaging with community members. I think that's key. And I think that trends into the 18, 19, 22, maybe even 35-year-olds who decide, hey, this is the job that I want to do, and go forward with that. So you got to have that. Without that, it's tough to reach certain pockets of the community because you have to have a certain understanding of that. So.
Well, and we talk about too, like the benefits and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we have great eye care. I don't know if y'all, but we got great eye care. Y'all need it, right? But when you look at, when you about ready to retire and stuff like that, you start thinking about medical and how much that might cost for your family and stuff. But even now, like medical is expensive if you're not working for the right department or the right organization. And our medical is pretty good, pretty inexpensive and stuff. So that's one thing. If you were out there, you need a family that you're taking care of and everything like that. That's a big thing. And then it said pay is pretty good. Hopefully, wish it could be a little bit better, but 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 no, man. I've really appreciated everything throughout my career. We probably worked together 5 years, and I've been on 7. So, you make
it easy to work for, man. I'm telling you, the men and women that I've had opportunity to work with in the last couple of years, and even whether it be community policing or patrol, man, they're just a great group of folks, right? And so you take this uniform off, they're outstanding and they're good people. Yeah. And that's what we need. Yeah. Need more of. Yeah. Not only on this department, but in this world. Yeah. Too, so. Yeah.
And I've been to a lot of community events recently, and then you've been a part of a few of them as well. As cops, we all want to chase the bad guy. We all want to get in the foot chase or whatever, get the big dope arrest and everything like that. But I've never seen where all of us, when we come together, no matter what our niche is, when we can help kids and provide gifts and stuff to families, man, like everybody's like, that was worth it. That was worth it. Everything I've done, that's worth it right there. So
yeah, you might with the shop of the cop advance and just other things that we have done that really doesn't get a lot of notoriety that we've seen as an agency that we do for community members is big. Yeah, the feeling you get afterwards, it's a humbling experience, right? And so to be able to do good for families and be able to provide for them is is important, right? That is the page 2 of policing, outside the scope of what you talked about of, putting bad guys in jail. It's the page 2 of it. So that I like to think of.
Yeah.
But it's all for good causes, man. So at the end of the day, so.
Most definitely. So on this podcast, we play a game called One Has to Go. Okay. So we got 4 things that we choose from, and you got to choose one that never existed. So being a military man, we got some military movies.
Okay. Oh my goodness gracious!
So you got Annapolis. For everybody looking at Annapolis, that is not Lieutenant on the screen.
It is not. It is not.
That's Tyrese. So
you got the resemblance.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You got Top Gun, American Sniper, and G.I. Jane. Okay. Which one are you going to get rid of forever? Never existed.
If it had never existed.
Yeah.
I mean, Annapolis probably.
Really?
All my Navy constituents are going to hate me. Man, I'm telling you right
I'm
now.
not going to lie. That's what I put it
exactly. But I'm telling you, Top Gun, epic.
Yeah.
Whether or not you like Tom Cruise or not, man, that is an epic movie in terms of that. So that's a legendary. American Sniper, man, I think that tells a story of today's military to an extent.
Yeah.
It is a good portrait, a good picture of a certain actions of a guy.
Yeah.
And then G.I. Jane, man, I'm telling you, ain't no better movie.
Oh man.
There's a lot of parts in there in terms of, SEAL team practices. I'm not a SEAL by any means, but that kind of go hand in hand. And so I think that's one of a classic movie too, man. So Annapolis.
I was trying to pick a good, and I'm with you. I probably would get rid of Annapolis. Yeah. It was a good movie, but I don't think it touches the other 3.
Yeah, so. It's a tough one, man. So
Trevor's probably only seen 2 of them.
I have seen all but Annapolis.
You have never seen Annapolis?
Yeah.
That was a good one when it came out, man.
They're all good, man. But I'm telling you, they had to be compared, man.
When did Annapolis come out?
Oh man, I was in the military, so probably early mid 2000s, probably.
The Navy one I always remember watching was Officer and a Gentleman.
Oh, see, that's
I thought you were going to say A Few Good Men, but
Few Good Men. That's another good one. Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong. Those again.
There's a lot of good military.
Those are great actors, man. So.
Yeah, and then you can't handle the truth. That's forever.
It's a line, epic line. Man.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Tombstone.
Right.
A lot of one-liners out of there.
Right. So. Man, well, LT, we appreciate you coming on, and your whole team. I think a lot of your team has been up here and stuff like that, as well as Patrol West CP. I mean, it's always great to see great leaders and to have community policing teams that are out there that are just showing up, showing out, and doing great things for the community, man. So, and that's a reflection of leadership. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I know I keep saying it. It may be, but because of their efforts, is what makes my job easier. It really is. I mean, at the end of the day, I know it's not lip service, but they make it easy.
Right.
The folks from Patrol make it easy. They just do their work. They do what needs to be done, and they want to be better.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll keep on telling one of your guys, Officer Nate Peterson, and whenever you want to come on the show.
Anytime.
Tough prying him out.
Right. It is. Yeah. But again, we appreciate your time, sir.
Hey, no problem.
No, super busy and stuff. We're going to get a refill, and then we'll be right back. Well, that was Lieutenant Krys Henderson. Bro, that dude has been following me around. I don't care what he says.
What's the deal? There's some sort of
that's just my aura, man. I think he just wants to be around me.
I'm surprised he didn't come join the PIO unit.
I mean, you never know. Maybe he'll be the next XO or something like that.
Ooh, interesting. Maybe.
You never know.
Maybe.
But no, great dude, military dude. I think he's been doing that for 18 plus years, I think, as well. So cool. That's some dedicated service right there.
Yeah.
So, not only giving back to your community, but giving back to your nation. So pretty dope, man. Pretty dope. So
I'm glad he came on the podcast.
Yeah. You've met him before though?
Oh yeah. We met several times. We were at I was at the shop with a cop last weekend, and he was there, so got to chat out there. And that's when he told me that he was going to be on the podcast. He said that. Yeah, that you talked him into doing it.
Yeah, so. Man, he's been on the books for a couple weeks, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I remember you booked him a while ago.
Yeah,
so
I felt bad because we had to keep moving stuff. We had to move times and stuff around because we have the annual awards.
Yeah,
today here in like 30 minutes. So,
but you gotta get ready for that.
That's gonna be kind of cool. So
I'm excited. We'll have pictures of that on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, make sure you're following us on there for the latest updates from the Wichita Police Department. We post news releases up there all the time, pictures of events we're going to, things we're doing. It's really the best way to stay in the loop. Yeah. As far as what the department's doing. Twitter as well.
Yes.
Follow us on Twitter. And if you'd like us to answer questions on the podcast, we're happy to. You just got to ask them.
Yes.
We haven't had any questions recently.
I know, but we are having views. I know people are watching.
People are watching.
Yeah.
They're just not curious.
Yeah. You know, it's cool too. Like as a public information officer, it's our job to, stay up to date on trends and everything that are going on as far as how to, be more transparent or different things that, to help bring in some recruits, things of that sort.
Right.
So I watch other departments' Facebook pages, man, and I still think, not being biased by any means, we have a great Facebook page. We put the good, the bad, the ugly. We put everything on there. Yeah. And that's why we always say, like if you want to know information about the police department, you come to our socials and we'll tell you.
Absolutely.
Because that's how we are.
Yeah. And if you're looking for something and it's not on there, just call us.
Yeah. What other departments go on podcasts?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of podcasts or listen.
Yeah.
To many podcasts, I guess. I should start.
Yeah.
I should start. I've just never really been a podcast guy.
See, one of the podcasts, I like watching them too when they do that, when they have them on YouTube. The It's Needed podcast is ran by 2 community policing officers throughout the country, and it also has a civilian on there as well, who's he's their Trevor Macy. He's their video editor and everything, mixed with Tyler and Nolan kind of thing.
Right.
But they talk about current events that are going on and stuff like that. Now theirs isn't associated to a police department.
Okay, so it's not like an official police department.
But both of them are police officers. So.
That's cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of officers that do podcasts off duty.
Yeah.
I think there's one even called the Off Duty Podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
See, there's one dude in Miami. He does one as well, and that dude's got like 50,000 followers. Yeah. So it's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, how many podcast episodes have we done now?
I will say we started April 4th or April 6th. So
we're coming up on almost a whole year.
Yeah, man.
In a few months.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty dope.
How do you feel about that?
I like it, man. I like it. It's one thing that we're dedicated to, and every week, it's cool. We're starting to transition to where officers are wanting to be on and stuff like that. So
yeah,
as far as not just leadership in the department and stuff.
Right.
So
they're seeing what it's all about.
Yeah,
and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
which is cool.
I think I want us to transfer and do another remote at the academy. Ooh. And get a recruit because our recruits are about to graduate.
We should do one from EVOC.
Ooh, like behind the back seat.
Just because I want an excuse to go do EVOC again.
Right. So, but I think that'd be cool. I liked when we did the mounted and we did the remote hats. And cowboy hats. That was pretty dope.
Cowboy hat.
I know. It's probably still in your back seat.
It is still in my back seat. I haven't had a reason to wear a cowboy hat since then. We'll just get gussied up one day and go to Cowtown and
right. So next week. It'll be over past Christmas. You got any holiday plans or anything like that? Wait, today's the first day of Hanukkah, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Didn't you tell me that last week?
I believe it is. Hold on.
Let
me check my calendar because it's on here. Yes, first day of Hanukkah.
There you go.
But no, this weekend, I'm going to go hang out with my dad. Christmas Eve, do our Christmas there. Christmas morning, pretty low-key. Most of my family's going to be down in Texas.
Okay.
So we're doing Christmas with them when they come back on New Year's Eve. So.
See, my mom and sister, and possibly my brother, don't know yet. They're coming into town Friday.
Nice.
And we're going to have our Christmas and everything then. So it's going to be cool because we're doing something different this year. Like, my mom's dream has always been to, have all of our babies together and stuff like that. And through over the years, it's been just difficult with times and stuff like that. But we're going to do go get the groceries all together, come back, cook it, chill, be in our pajamas, just cooking and having conversations. Awesome. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So, and then my wife and my mom have started a tradition with eggnog over the last couple of years. Like, they just drink their favorite eggnog together and stuff.
So good. I'm going to have to go get some.
I'm going to have to try it again, bro. It's been a long time since I had it.
I didn't like it when I was younger, but now that I'm older,
see, and that's
but I can't drink too much of it because it's really rich.
Really?
And it just
what's it taste like? Like, is there something I could judge it off of?
I don't know how you would.
Because I'm thinking like a thick horchata kind of thing.
Yeah, or so when you eat like a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, then you drink the milk after.
You got me right there. If that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Like the milk after that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I would compare it to.
Okay.
It's real sweet. There's that cinnamon.
That's a really high standard.
Like
you just put up here.
I mean, because
that's
call me out if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's the closest thing I can.
Okay, well now I'm excited. Maybe I need to go get more eggnog.
It's like a sweet, milky, but it's a little bit thicker.
Okay,
too. It's just like
I have some of that cinnamon toast crunch dust.
Oh yeah, cabinet. Just sprinkle that on top.
Oof. Okay.
Oof.
All right. Well,
until
next week, Wichita, happy holidays, man.
Happy holidays.
We hope y'all stay safe.
Yes.
But yeah, man, we're looking forward to everybody coming back, and next week we'll be back at it, man. So until then, peace.
Bye.